Welcome to the Happy Disruptors podcast. If you're a creative thinker with an unconventional approach to your industry, you just might be a happy disruptor. Join your friends at the Great Outdoors Foundation for honest conversations about tackling critical issues like conservation with an uncritical disposition. If you like to smile and get things done, this is the podcast for you.
Hello, and welcome to the Happy Disruptors podcast. I'm Katie, and today I am so fortunate to be joined by two of the loveliest people I have had the chance of meeting and working with here in Des Moines. Amner and Laura are the geniuses behind Amplified, which is the podcast studio that enables us to produce the Happy Disruptors podcast. So Amner and Laura, so glad to have you guys here. Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourselves?
Do you want to go first?
Sure, I can go first. Thank you for having us first. Which is weird, right? We had to travel so much to
Yes,
meet up with you.
It was a long
But
walk.
no, thank you so much for having us. It's really a pleasure. Well, I'm Laura Rodriguez, and I'm the creative director for Amplified, our podcast production company. And Amner just happens to be my husband.
You can tell Laura's nervous.
I don't.
Oh.
I love working on your podcast. That is like, I hate being in this side of the cameras.
That's okay.
That's not my thing.
You'll be fantastic. We're so glad to have you here,
Thank you.
Laura.
Yeah, thank you for having us. My name is Amner Martinez, and we started Amplified because I started a podcast from the house, and Laura built a little studio in our a nook in the house, and then people just kept saying yes to coming, and then eventually, now 5-6 years later, this is it. And we also have a recruiting firm, a staffing agency that we house here, and we've kind of created an ecosystem, so to speak, where people are just kind of coexisting that usually they would never. Sometimes there's a CEO waiting to get interviewed, and then somebody that's a welder is coming in to interview. So we thought it was like a fun. It's always fun to see them look at each other.
Yeah,
So
It's a lot of fun.
thank you for having us. We're excited to talk.
Yeah. Well, so one thing, as I was reflecting about what questions I wanted to ask you to, is this through line, you've talked a little bit about the two businesses that you have here housed at the Amplified Studio. You're also have opened up a bar in Highland Park. Really excited about that. And I think you've already touched on it a little bit, Amner, just this through line of community, connection, creativity. And I love, from the moment that I walked in the doors here, you can just sense a difference about the culture that you have created. So I wonder if you can talk a little bit, was that intentional, or is that just sort of organically how it's developed?
Yeah, I mean, I think that everything that happens should have intention, and everything that we do has from the color to the name to who we work with, and to partnerships that we create. So obviously the visual part is all Laura. I can take zero credit for it. And behind that is just this kind of machine that takes a lot of work to get done. But I think you got to connect the beautiful with the essence.
Yeah.
And especially in this field of communication, we kind of stumbled into it, right? We're in media somehow.
Somehow.
Yeah, that it's easy to kind of lose your values a little bit because, money comes into the play, and you got to create revenue. And so it's a balancing act that we have to do. So everything does have to have an intentionality. Is this us? Does this represent us, and is this who we are?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's both intentional and organic at the same time. There's never a plan of what is the office supposed to look like, what is the studio supposed to look like. It's how should it feel? How should the space feel, and how should people feel when they walk in here? And that's where we start going like, crazy at it, because it really is crazy how we develop both, like how it looks and how it works. It's the culture has to be that way as well. So like our employees feel awesome to be here and happy. Stephanie likes to say that unicorn threw up in here.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, dude, that is the hugest compliment I've ever gotten. So I like totally get it, but she loves it. So if they love it, that means like I hope that the guests also, podcasters, people that come and apply for a job, everyone feels a little dose of dopamine and happy to be here. We're very community driving, so I try to like whatever our community gives us, I try to give back here in the space and with our employees as well.
Yeah, I think one of the first times I was in the studio, you actually had a piece of paper up with your values.
Yeah, they used to be around everywhere.
Do you guys want to talk a little bit about that? Was that something that you sat down and you were like, okay, these are the values that we want everyone who comes in, whether they're a partner or an internal staffer, we want them to espouse these values? Yeah. Or was it something sort of retroactive where you were like, we've created this really cool community and we see these common values?
I think you did, because those were already put up in place before I started.
Yeah, so once upon a time, the economy was booming to a point where it was double the staffs here. So we were like 14 people here. So we've had to like adjust and, done some hard decisions to cut staff. But there was a time where we did sit down with the entire team and we took weeks just to kind of work out the values. Yeah. And then you narrow them down, and, the more you're in this like entrepreneurial journey, you learn that having values is super important. When I was working, for other employers, and I would see corporations having their values and stuff, I thought it was tacky, but it's like it's so important, because then your decisions, when you're in a crossroads, you can kind of go back to your values. Does this touch on one or two or three of our values? And having them posted out, it just like you kind of, when you're just kind of your head is down and you're working, you tend to forget a little bit, right? And then so it's good to have reminders so people don't forget, and your employees kind of still, you got to live your values too. So I think like that's what we're doing a really good job at.
I think we're also, we could say lucky, but maybe it is because Abner is really good at recruiting. But we happen, like our team just happens to match most of our values. And they also happen to match our just human values. So maybe it just reflects on that hiring was really good. And then, we cut the team, and that's always really hard. There's been incredible people that have worked for us and they had a lot to do with who we are and where we are, both with Infinite Resources and Amplified. So it's always going to feel like family, but we just happen to be lucky that the values align with everyone that has walked through this path.
Yeah, and I think the two of you, it seems like in your interactions, you really try to model those values too. Is that something, that you felt like coming in as an entrepreneur, and this is really something that you've developed from the ground up? Were those values that came really naturally to you just in your personal life that have then translated well into business professionalism? Or is that something, were those kind of stretch values where you were like, in order to be successful, these are the values that we really want to embody here?
I think that we were kind of naturally in us, and then we just didn't know how to like articulate them and put them into words and like fine tune them and like articulate it to our team, right? So we've been working in we used to produce a music festival for about 8 or 9 years.
Wow. You guys are like actual coolest. Just casually, in our free time, a music festival.
We produced a music festival. The last couple of years, we had over 1,000 people, 7, 8, 9 bands from Chicago, LA, Mexico, Colombia. So we had a whole nonprofit, and so we've always kind of just been doing things that that was a nonprofit. That was all volunteer work for us. And so I think once the company started to like grow, you know, we just kind of needed to like put them on paper, I guess, and put them more in, fine tune them.
Yeah, but I think personally we're actually just built this way.
Yeah.
I mean, Amna and I have been married for a long time, and we have children, and I showed up here the same way that I show up to my kids and my partner and my family. Like, that is just, I am like the exact same person, and I believe in the same values. So yeah, it's just, that's who we are.
Yeah. I think that is a really beautiful thing to be able to identify that in yourself, and then also like see that in the people around you, of creating an environment where people can really show up as their true authentic selves. And that just seems to be the most effective way to create a workplace where, you know, everyone has alignment on what the values are, and that can be expressed in different ways. But ultimately, you know, we're all working toward the same vision, and have common language. To
Right.
work around.
Yeah.
Okay, so amazing that you guys also had a music festival.
Yeah, it's been a little while, but yeah.
I want to get back to this
Yeah.
thought of like community, because it really seems to be at the core of what you all do, from the staffing agency to the podcast studio to now this new bar sort of hospitality. Tell me what community means to you.
You're going to let me go first.
I can go first. I did a little. Thank you for, you know, and that's people send me the question. I'm like, I don't have questions. I kind of flow. And now I feel like I should send questions, because you get to prepare a little bit.
Well, yeah, you can have yours, because even though I know that how important is community for both of us, like it's also, it looks a little bit different for each of us. So you can go first.
Yeah, so I was kind of going like, how do I answer this question? And maybe it's not just outside, inside the workplace, but like community it's been a word that like I'm afraid that it's gonna start to get weaponized, you know, like. But I went to a workshop that Joshua Barr did, and it's called Seeds and Soil. And it was like a 3-hour workshop that Laura and I went. And basically the essence of that is like just to show you how we all depend on each other as a community. And he did a survey at the beginning. The question is like, do you think that all problems or can be solved at home? You know, because a lot of people are like, oh, pull yourself from the bootstraps types of mentality. Yeah. And then, so he took us through this whole workshop. And then one of the exercises was that, you know, 4 people had a neighborhood, right? And this neighborhood was described with like, it has great public transportation, it has green spaces, it's got, you know, libraries. And then another neighborhood had very, like, kind of like Austin, very tech bro kind of city, but limited walking space. So each neighborhood had its ups and downs, right? And then you put 3 kids inside that neighborhood, and each kid had a story. Not to prolong this answer, but if you grab these 3 kids and put them on a different neighborhood, will they thrive in that neighborhood too? And some kids were doing good in one, but then the moment you move them, they were not thriving at all. They were actually like in danger. And so, you know, we all depend on each other. Yeah. And that's kind of how I wanted to answer that question, is like, the more we realize that I depend on the public services, I depend on the green spaces, I depend on people to value us of who we are and like do business with us, and like it allows us to just, you know, flow, and you know, like in order for us to open spaces for people that cannot afford the studio, we have to have partnerships, you know, like with you guys and Hubble and Ballet Des Moines, because if this was a hobby, it would be a super expensive hobby. We couldn't afford
Right,
it, so we
yeah.
had to find a way to be like, we need these partnerships in order for us to open space for other people that otherwise they would never be allowed, or like would be the doors wouldn't be open for them. So community is huge.
Yeah.
And I wish that people would think a little bit about that more, because the moment you say, I believe in community and I love community and the community is behind me and all that stuff, some people like are starting to frown on that, and it's like, it's more like we depend on each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that concept is very applicable. Like, you've translated it beautifully to the workplace of, you know, one entity or organization is not going to be able to do anything worthwhile on its own. It really requires this whole ecosystem. Of course, in conservation, we're always talking about
Yes.
ecosystems
Right.
and how all of these really intricate systems work together and support one another, and how one really influences another. So, yeah, thanks for expounding upon that, Amner. All right, Laura, how about you?
I think everything that we do is because of community, and it's because of our community. Like, I could think I've been in Iowa over 20 years, but I think it goes back to like when I first got here. Like, without community, my mom, there's no way a single mom with 4 kids that she was gonna do it by herself in a whole new different country. And I just think about the community that she's surrounded herself with.
Yeah.
That was there for us. That was there for her. Was there for us. All these people taking care of us, or you know, feeding us, or helping my mom with money. And then my mom became that person, and then we became those people,
Yeah.
my siblings and I. And it's just what drives us on the daily. So for me, everything that we do, this is a community. We record podcasts and we produce podcasts, but we really, really care about that human being behind the mic. And it's because we have created a little ecosystem of our own right here that allows us, like Amner said, be able to have, you know, partners that work under our umbrella, but also just allows us to like create these friendships and these relationships that translate out of here. I think, you know, our kids, they've been around us when we were producing the music festival, and now this, and they just get to enjoy, and they get to live this life with all these cool people that just happen to inspire them. And so it's everything that we do, it's grounded on community and giving back and being with that, because there's no way that we would be who we are without our people.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely. Yeah, it's that that like human element of no matter what work you are doing, it doesn't matter whether you are manufacturing a refrigerator or producing podcasts or a nonprofit in the conservation space. Like, really, it comes down to we all need each other, and we are working interdependently with one another. So I think that's. It reminds me of, like, I don't know if either of you have read Simon Sinek's Starts With Why. It's a great book about essentially how, you know, your values are, if they are not at the core of what you do, you're probably not going to be that effective, you know, because anybody can start a business and fulfill a need, but when it comes down to the value and the value that you're contributing to others, that's really where.
How sustainable is it? Like, how long can you do it for if you're not really like doing it for the right reasons?
Exactly. Okay, so Amner, you've kind of touched on this. Both of you have really, but obviously there's a hard balance to strike when you are trying to elevate these values of community and creativity and innovation. We talk about innovation all the time, but there's also the like practical business side of things and making it make sense from a business standpoint, whether it's revenue or staffing. So how do you guys balance those almost like left brain, right brain decisions? You know, I'm chuckling a little bit because I feel like the two of you have, you're like the perfect complement to one another, at least from an external perspective.
Yes,
so
thank you.
What are your thoughts on that?
thank you for saying that, because it literally is like
Yeah.
that. I just get to do the cool stuff, the very creative, cool stuff, and then Abner does the rest.
Yeah,
That's the balance right there.
Yeah, it does seem to be. Laura and I always talk about creative people, and we have different point of views, right? But like a true 100% like artist and creator, you know, they have a really hard time bastardizing their work. You know, like that's why they give it for free, or they do it for no money, and you know, I'm always like, you gotta have sustainability, like you gotta have some kind of way to like create revenue, so then it can be a long-term thing, right? So there's, you know, that's why unfortunately there's a lot of starving artists, because like it's just they don't want to, they want this beautiful thing to not be touched by, and I respect that. I have a little bit more on more business and more like not just revenue, money driven, but like I have that part that I can be like, okay, we can still do this, and this is how we can create some revenue, so then it can like have more long life. And Laura is the other half of that. So like all this is like, this is what we can do. I know what the value is of like remodeling the studio, and then Laura just kind of does the rest of the stuff, or like the mural outside. I'm like, when people are walking in here, we want them to already start having like a good energy, right? And I thought it was gonna be like the city, a picture of the Moines skyline. And then Laura just kind of takes it from there, and she looks she found this local Mexican artist, and she does this mural. So it's, you know,
her name is Marisa Hernandez.
Marisa Hernandez, yeah. So that's kind of how we balance it. It's just, we're literally like half of the brain, and then she's half the brain.
Which, by the way, half of the brain, like I am pretty smart. I just happen to love like very beautiful things. But you know, like I also think, like I think often, and it's very cliche for business owners or entrepreneurs, but like Abner and I really, really breathe, eat, dream what we do. Like it really is. Like it doesn't, there's no such thing as we live amplified and infinite resources here. No, like it lives with us. And our children are okay with that because they also love that. So, you know, our kids used to not have summers. Their summer used to start like August 8th, when it was almost time to go to school. We're talking since the twins are now 15. The festival, we were done with that during COVID times, but their entire little childhood was that, including our 21-year-old, and they loved it. They thrived around it. And they're just on the ride for us. And for us, having these two companies and now opening up a bar with a really, really, really great friends, is we get to do all of these things that our parents never got to do. So for us, it's like we're living our parents' wildest dreams. So that also is a huge inspiration for us to just go at it. I've said this before, and I'll say it like, I mean, if Abner says jump, and I'm just like, okay, let's jump. And we'll figure out what's after that. Because really, that's the life that it has been. But it's like, it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of hard work. But usually it's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of heart in it. So it tends to just end up working out. So far, everything has working out.
Absolutely.
So we'll
Beautifully. It definitely, as a fellow creative, I feel like there is more in this day and age, a little bit more appreciation for sort of the creative intelligence that is required, and how really good design is functional design and really adds major value to the entity that you're with. So I absolutely, I would agree 100%. And even the ability to think about issues in a creative way, that is something that I love about the work that we get to do. It's often like looking at a challenge and figuring out how to creative problem solve. And it a lot of times is that retro engineering of this is the issue that I see that I want to solve for my community. And it seems like you guys have taken that approach too, of like, here's this thing that I could see being improved in our community or an opportunity that would support our community. And so we are going to almost like engineer this business around it.
Someone told me it's like people that do things often it is because it's not being done. So then they're just like, well, somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
And then
Which
like
has
they
a
just
translation for what we do.
yeah, that's how we. So with the festival, we were like, when we go to festivals in Des Moines at that time, we're like, there's no Latin music, there's no Spanish music. So they were like, all right, let's
do it.
Let's start something, and it evolved into like a full blown.
But even
international.
But even that, like that
Amazing.
came because of like someone in that community we knew that had passed away, and like, yeah, the more you talk to us, the more you're gonna be like, there is someone is involved, someone is like, someone needs.
Yeah.
But that's how Abner's mom was, and that's how parents are. So
Yeah.
we just base it on that.
Yeah, I love that. You get to honor them in that way
Yeah.
in the work that you do. Okay. Both of you, even if you might not identify, you're both incredibly creative people.
Yeah.
I know
I
it's
think
like
Amner is
obviously
too. Yeah,
very,
yeah.
very
Thank you.
obvious. I feel like Amner, you're also very creative. How do you cultivate creativity in your life personally? Like, what are things that are inspiring you right now?
For me, it's like storytelling. Like it. The reason why we've like, because I've been told and advised to like shut this down, right? Like 2 years ago, it was not. We were not charging. It was all pro bono, just collaboration, and it was starting to get extremely expensive. So a lot of my advisors were like, "You got to put it out." Like, but it was always like, for me, it was always like, we're telling stories here. Like we're contributing to like something bigger than us. So for me, just cultivating is just like living each day. I mean, I am like some kind of in a middle-age kind of crisis, I guess, because every single day I live it. I don't want to waste any second of
Yeah.
it. So,
Yeah.
and then just kind of staying bold, I guess, like do things that are dumb or sound dumb to people and it sounded crazy. But then eventually somehow they if you're in it for the right reason, it like success is inevitable, right? Like you're gonna reach some level of success if you're doing it for the right reason. And for me, it's like storytelling. It's just knowing that there's like you guys are talking about the environment, and we have Ballet Des Moines that is in the arts, and we have other contributors and podcasters that are talking about important issues.
Right.
And so like that to me is what kind of keeps me going, and like what kind of keeps me going. Like, yeah, let's keep doing this. So,
Yeah, that's amazing. How about you, Laura?
I feel like I've always been a creative, so like my inspiration comes from very different places for whatever I'm working on, or even at home. But yeah, I keep saying that Amplified, especially in the last month or so, has become like my lifeline. Creating this work and working with all these beautiful people that get to come in here into the studio has been like the thing that keeps me moving and inspires me to keep creating, and I create more. Therefore, that's why we changed the studio, to have a little bit more space, but also to be able to host more people and more studio time. But creativity is in reality is at every core of every single thing I do.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, it just gets to be fun. But yeah, I find inspiration basically on anything and everything.
Yeah, it's probably hard to parse out what isn't like a creative
But
inspiration in your
that's
life.
a really good way to put it.
Yeah, like I think it's like the twins are 15 now, and I keep going back to the twins, but like it took me years to figure it out that was my creative project for a very long time.
Wow.
Whenever I didn't get to do anything, and I was struggling if I wasn't doing fashion or doing anything else, like my favorite pieces that I have ever created, I was busy doing that. And that just kind of like keeps me grounded now. We're like, oh, I get to do all this crazy stuff now because they're 15 and now they're like my biggest fans
Yeah.
about being creative. So
That's amazing. I love that. Motherhood is an act of creativity. Love it. Okay, last question before we jump into our final segment. What you guys are obviously have been in entrepreneurship for decades and have lots of experience. What advice would you give to someone who is kind of wanting to take that leap into becoming an entrepreneur, or maybe having a side hustle, or turning a passion project into something more?
I'm going to say the best advice I can give to somebody that wants to jump in it is, I think the best one is like, if you got to be crazy about it. Like when you tell people that what you want to do, it needs to sound crazy to them.
Yeah.
And then they got to tell you, don't do it. Because if it sounds crazy to people, then that's when you know it's worth it. And another thing is, so like with partnerships, right? Like, so the bar, or, you know, we're also helped another friend of ours. We're investors in a dojo, a karate dojo. It's called Nakata Dojo. It's in Urbandale. So if you have kids in Urbandale,
Amazing.
Very traditional karate. And Kenji and I talked about it for about 1.5 years. And a lot of the reasons why we didn't do it like right away is because I wanted to kind of see how like dedicated he was going to be until we decided like, okay, it's time. But what I was looking for is like, I know he's not going to give up. No matter what happens, he's not going to give up on that project. Because, you know, if you're doing things for money or if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, you will quit.
Yeah.
You will quit. Same thing with Travis and Sean. I saw that Travis, the cocktail guy or the owner, I knew that like he's very passionate about cocktails, and I knew that he was not going to quit. So it's been 2.5 years almost that this bar has been in the works.
Wow.
And there's been a lot of ups and downs, and not only creative but financial. So I think it just has to be a crazy kind of obsession.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. I think that was a long answer.
No, it was great.
That was very long. It really was. But you're gonna find yourself though with Abner.
really
That's
was.
gonna happen.
That's why I have
That's gonna happen.
podcasts.
I'm gonna second Abner first because for sure it has to be crazy. If it doesn't sound crazy, then I mean, again, if it doesn't sound crazy, I'm not gonna jump on it.
Yeah.
But I think mine and it will be definitely. You don't have to break yourself to create something beautiful. I'm very against hustle culture and all of this thing, and especially what it does to women and mothers especially. So no, I think that you don't have to break and you don't have to work this insane amount of hours and break your body to create something beautiful. I think and taking care of yourself and everyone around you, and then you get to be very successful. So I think that's mine. Yeah,
That's amazing. Excellent. Well, as you've been wondering, we have our last segment.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
what is
whiteboard
this?
it.
Yeah.
So you each have a whiteboard.
Oh,
We
gosh.
at the Great Outdoors Foundation are really big whiteboard fans. We do a lot of like brainstorming, scheming, all that good stuff. So my question for you, and you can either write or draw your response.
This is fun.
So the podcast is called The Happy Disruptors. I would say both of you are definitely happy disruptors.
Thank you.
But tell me in your own words or images what it means to be a happy disruptor from your perspective.
What do you mean?
We have to write it down?
Yes.
You can
What
write
it
it
means
down.
to be a
Or you-
happy
Disruptor. Or you can try.
disruptor.
Yeah.
That's a
And while Laura
Imagine
and
Abner's answer is going to be like,
yes, a whole
what it
book.
means to be a happy disruptor. Okay, got it.
While Laura and Amner are responding to our Let's Whiteboard It segment, just want to remind you all to like and subscribe wherever you are listening. follow along with what the Great Outdoors Foundation is doing on all major social platforms. And then make sure, if you're not already, to subscribe to our newsletter. We send out monthly updates on what we are doing, what our partners are doing, and how you can get involved with our work. So you can do so at thegreatoutdoorsfoundation.org.
I'm like, what?
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to
No,
go
I
first?
haven't even read anything down yet. I'm like thinking
okay.
in Spanish and English both at the same time. It's like,
I'm gonna go first
actually-
because sometimes it's. Oh, go ahead. Give us the
I was
instructions.
going to say, you absolutely, if you want
I'm
to
thinking.
write or have your answer in Spanish, I would love that.
Oh yeah.
That would be amazing.
Mine is gonna be long answer anyway, so
I
you
was-
have
Yeah,
some time.
you've got
I'm gonna buy you
time.
some
Yeah,
time.
you've got
I'll
time.
probably have like,
All right, so it seemed hard, but this is how I narrowed it down. It's,
what is that?
So it's a person on a rock, and then giving the hand to the other person to help them up. So like
Wow.
a hand up, and like my friend and mentor and old boss Bill, he started a transportation adjacent to kind of like dark, right? And he at one point was transporting like 200 plus people that at one point they were homeless, or at one time they couldn't, and he was like, this is not a handout, this is a hand up. Like eventually they would get enough money, then they paid for transportation, then eventually they got cars. So, and it was creating a lot of taxpayers, so creating thousands upon thousands of dollars of tax-paying dollars to the state, and so I think whatever it is that you do, I think it should impact somebody else.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a handout. Like, don't look at it as a handout. It's like they're also providing something for you. You just probably are not aware of it. You don't know it, but just or impacts the next person. You know, it doesn't have to be always back to you. So yeah, that's
I love
mine.
that. So disrupting like the challenges or obstacles or, you know.
Yeah, no matter
gaps
what
in-
it is that you choose to do.
Yeah.
If you have other people in your mind, then you'll be able to disrupt even more. You know, you know, I think that Bill was a great example of that, and. You know, when he told me about it, he's telling me the structure of it, and I was like, really? I mean, and then he broke down the numbers, and he was like, this is how much taxes we're creating from all these people out there working, and we're giving them transportation. So
Yeah.
so, and that's a very disruptive, you know, he wants to like change the mentality of transportation, you know, in just here in Des Moines. So yeah.
I love that. That's beautiful.
I think I have
Alright.
it.
All right, yeah.
All right, I have it. I put it, what's on my camera?
Bold aventurero.
I put aventurero in Spanish because I don't know how to say it in English.
Uh,
No, I don't know how to write it in English. It's adventurous.
adventurous.
In
Oh, yeah,
English?
yeah.
Okay. Bold and adventurous.
Yeah.
I think bold, we have to disrupt, especially for me as an immigrant. I have to be extremely bold to go disrupt the spaces
Yeah.
that I'm usually not invited. Or if I'm invited, I'm just invited as a token or an extra chair. And adventurous because we have to go and look for all these opportunities and all these new things that we can create for our communities or for ourselves. So I think those are mine too.
Yeah.
Bold and adventurous.
I love that. That's amazing.
I'm gonna write how to write it in English. Actually.
I love it. Can you
Adventuros.
say
Aventurero.
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 Yeah, we love our
Excellent.
R's.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So beautiful. I love it. Thank you both
Thank
again
you.
for your time.
What about you? What is
Yeah, what does a
Oh,
happy
man.
disruptor mean for you?
I think it's like this relentless commitment to like optimism in face of the challenges and struggles and obstacles that we face and whatever, you know, obviously we were thinking about it from conservation and sort of the big challenges we're up against with climate change and just the industrialization of the spaces that we live in and the using of our natural resources. But I think that's really in any, whether you're talking about transportation or housing or education, you know, if you are going to be able to address an issue over a long period of time, you've got to have that connection to the belief that you can make it better. Yeah.
Yeah. Relentless.
Yeah.
Yes.
Relentless. So stubborn.
So stubborn.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well,
Yes.
thank you guys. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
listening. We'll see you next week.